What is up guys? Today we're having a look at the newly released Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now there's something special about this remake because it's actually built using the original Diablo 2 codebase. Knowing this, I was left with two questions. One, can I mod Diablo 2 Resurrected? That's this video. And two, can I import my old characters into Diablo 2 Resurrected? That video is linked somewhere up here. Okay, so for this video we're going to be looking at modding some basic gameplay elements for Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now the fantastic thing about this process is that it's extremely similar to modding the original Diablo 2. There are, however, some differences, like we're not dealing with MPQ files anymore. So we will need to use a couple different tools, and these can be found in my GitHub link in the description below, or you can Google them yourself. I'll actually be sticking with some of the tools I used 20 years ago when originally modding Diablo 2, but if you know of any better tools then do leave a comment below letting me know about them. So when I was looking for these tools, I actually found them on the Phrozen Keep, and this was just a huge blast from the past. I didn't think this site was still up. This is where I went for all my Diablo 2 modding needs back in the day, and it's just amazing to see it still up, still active, just wow. I mean, this must be a fantastic community. Anyway, as part of this video, we're going to be following along with the Idiot's Guide to Mod Making. This was a brilliant document from back in the day. I think it's back from 2002. So first done in 2001, and we're using version 1.3 from 2002. There's going to be a lot of stuff wrong in this document, but a lot of it is also right. So it is a good starting point for your Diablo 2 mod making needs. And again, this guide can be found in the GitHub link down below. Let's have a quick look at what we're going to do. So this document, it describes lots of different things. You can ignore everything about MPQ files because MPQ files do not exist anymore. Now these files, however, are somewhat relevant. Not all of them. I don't think tables are used anymore. We'll get to that later on. But text files, bin files, DC6, etc. those are all still used today. So it also links to a lot of different tools. You don't really need any of these nowadays. I'll show you what you do need, and we'll go over that in just 1 second. So what are we actually going to be doing in this video? Well, we're going to be taking an existing item, the Mantled Heel, and this is a unique ring in the game. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new effect to the unique item. So we'll add something like Lifesteal to it. We'll then make that item drop from Quill Rats in Act 1 of the game, so we can find it with a brand new character. And then we'll also modify the name of the item. And this will give you a good idea of how you can edit items and modify different things in Diablo 2 Resurrected. And again, a lot of it is coming from the original Diablo 2, which there are tons of guides out there on. Again, do check out the Phrozen Keep. There's a link down in the description below. I'll just be highlighting some of the differences between modding Diablo 2, the original, and Diablo 2 Resurrected. So what tools do we actually need? Well, firstly, we need something to extract the data files from Diablo 2 Resurrected so that we can actually edit them. And we use the Casc viewer for this. Now this is the latest version that I could find, 2.3.0.246. And I believe it's from March, so yeah, March 2021, so it's actually recently updated. And we just want to take this file and extract it to our Diablo 2 Resurrected directory. There we go. Casc view is here. We open it up, click open storage, select our Diablo 2 Resurrected directory, and select that folder. And you can see now we have this data folder exploded here. So when I say exploded, I just mean opened up. This is actually an archive which we'll need to extract. The folders that we're interested in are these global, HD, and local directories. So what I want you to do is come up to data, hit extract, and extract it to the work directory. Now you will need 30 gigs of space as of today to extract this, because this is essentially all the data for Diablo 2 Resurrected, and you're just making a duplicate copy of it that isn't zipped up and archived. So once you have all that extracted, you will have your local, global and HD directories here. Simply cut those, come over to the data directory, so you're in Diablo 2 Resurrected, data, and move all of those files in here. And you can see now we have data/local, global, and HD. And the important folders for us are going to be global and some of HD. And now, people who are used to modding the old Diablo 2 might be wondering why I'm not getting into local. We'll go over that in a few minutes. Now that we have all those files extracted, we want to make sure that everything is still working. Now we'll have to run Diablo 2 Resurrected with different command line arguments, and you can do that in one of two ways. Firstly, you can create a shortcut to the exe file. So if we come down, create shortcut, we'll rename that to D2R with mods. And then in here, you want to type space hyphen direct space hyphen txt. So don't be like me and write text, because that will not work and you'll be wondering why your mods aren't working. So now that you have your shortcut, you should be able to just run it, and when the game loads, instead of loading from the archived files, it'll load everything from those extracted global, HD and local directories. And that's exactly what you want. There is also another way to do this. You can actually use the game settings in the Battle.net launcher, say additional command line arguments here, and type in direct-txt. There we go. And once I hit play, I'll go into the game, and again, it'll use the extracted files instead of those archived files. So now that we have everything set up, we'll want to actually modify some of these files. So what we're going to do is extract this D2 Excel, and this allows us to modify some of those files that we've extracted. And look at that, a beautiful 2000s GUI there. It's beautiful. So we'll want to come along, load a text file, and what we're going to do is we're going to come into Games, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Data, Global, Excel, and in here in Excel is all the different files. And you can actually modify these with Excel, but they aren't quite text files, which are tab delimited. They're a bit odd, and I have had problems. Now, this was 20 years ago with using Excel, which is why I'm using this Diablo 2 Excel file editor, which I know works. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to unique items, open that, and we want to lock the first column here and modify a very specific item. I think it's 122. Yes, mantled heel. So we're going to come across and we're going to have a look at the heading of the columns, and you can see level and level required. So that's level 20 and required level 15. We want to switch both of those to 1. And keep this in mind here. So RIN, this is the code of the item that we're modifying. So this is a ring and the item code is RIN. And now we're just going to come across and see some of the properties that this item has. So you can see here, property 1, it has a parameter 1, I believe, and then a min and a max value, and then property 2, parameter 2, etc, etc. So I think there's up to 10 properties per item. We can see here mantled heel has mana steal between a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 7%. And then it has regen between 5 and 8. It has HP of 20, so it's 20 to 20, which means it can only be 20. Regen mana, 20 to 20. And look at this, property 5 is blank. So what do we want to set property 5 to? Well, we're going to add in lifesteal. So you can see here, lifesteal 3 to 7. We'll say lifesteal 5 to 10. So that's brilliant. We've got lifesteal now on this mantled heel. We can save the text file. Make sure to save it over the right file, so we were modifying the unique items.txt. Save, and there we go. Now, it's going to take us a while to find this unique item because obviously they're low drop rates and we don't want to be playing for hours. So instead we're going to manipulate things a slight bit, and we're going to actually get quill rats in the first area of the game to pretty much always drop this item. So if we come here to the treasure classes x.txt, we have a bunch of different treasure classes, and these are all things from chests to different acts to absolutely everything. It's basically the drop tables for everything in Diablo 2. And we're going to come down to quill here. So you can see here quill 1 number 649. And we'll just come across, we'll look at this. Alright, we have got some drop rates here for unique items, no drops, so there's a chance it won't drop anything, chance it'll drop gold or junk. So we don't want it to drop junk. We don't want it to drop gold, we want it to drop a ring. So remember that ORIN item code. We're going to replace gold with ORIN. There we go. And then we don't want it to drop nothing. So let's get rid of that again. And because it was a unique ring, we want to say drop that unique ring. And I think, if my memory doesn't fail me, 1024 was the max value for this. And we want to just save that file. So again, make sure you're saving it over the right file. It's treasure classes X. Yes, save. And there we go. That's done. So there's one more thing we want to do. We want to rename this item. So we've made it a bit more powerful. It's no longer going to be known as the mantled heel. It'll be known as the new mantled heel. So back in the day, you actually used to go into local language English, and you used to modify this patch string or string.table. And you'd use a very specific tool to modify these files, but we no longer do that with Diablo 2 Resurrected. Instead, we have these strings files, so lovely new JSON files which have all the strings in them. And we have strings for the new updated graphics, so that's this strings directory, and then the legacy graphics actually have different strings. So I thought that was quite interesting. If you're thinking just update one file and it'll work for both the new and old graphics, that isn't true. You need to update both the files. So we come in here and we go to item names, and we're going to modify mantled heel. So you can see here we have mantled heel, we have the English US and all the other languages. I'm using English US obviously, so we'll call that the new mantled heel, and make sure you do not change this key. So this key is what ties that txt file to the names in this file. So if you remember, our left hand column in the txt file was called mantled heel. That is the key. That is not the name of the item. The name of the item is found in here for internationalization purposes. So that key is just used to reference this file, which has all the translations in it. And then, as I said, we want to go to language, strings legacy, and again, item names, and find mantled heel again. And for this one, instead of calling it new mantled heel, we'll call it old mantled heel. And we can close all that up. We can go back here, and remember, I have my direct text set in here. We hit play game. So we're in the game. If you want to know how I'm already a level 77 barbarian, do check out my other video. But we're going to create a brand new character for this. Call it Testy New. I have very original names. And here we go. So what we're looking for is a quill rat. Here we go. Here's some quill rats. Oh, look at that. A ring has dropped. We have our ring. Let's go back. scroll of identity, and this is the unique ring, and look at that. So what we did was we added between 5 and 10% lifesteal. You can see 9% life stolen per hit there, so that shows that it works. Look at the name, it's the new mantled heal ring. And if we switch the graphics to the old style and we scroll over it, old mantled heal ring. The stats are still the same, but the name has actually changed due to that strings legacy file. And that's how we can easily just modify an item in Diablo 2. We can rename it and get it to actually automatically drop. So we modified the loot tables for the quill rats. So obviously this mod is a bit more of a cheat than an actual mod, but you can see how you can take those concepts and expand them into modifying different items, drop tables, etc. and creating a massive mod from that. It's all these little modifications that make up a bigger mod. Now, what's still missing from this? Well, back in the day, you used to be able to build these files into an MPQ file. So you had a patch_d2.mpq file, and you could distribute this around to everyone. At the moment, I haven't found a way to make that work. So you need to have all these global HD local directories extracted out, which adds an extra 30 gigs. I would be interested to know if anyone has found a way of just packaging up the changed files and distributing those to other people without having to extract absolutely everything. So if you do know how to package up these modified files into a smaller bundle, do let me know in the comments below, and I might make a follow-up to this video as we find out more about modding Diablo 2 Resurrected. So that's it from me for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And if you like what you saw, do check out some of my other videos.